$4 should be enough.
What's the least that I could put on?
$364.
I quit med school today, but that shouldn't come as a surprise to you.
Well, for those who missed American Mary at Fright Fest this year, can you just tell us a little bit about what the film is all about?
Absolutely.
Well, it follows medical student Mary Mason, played by the intoxicatingly talented Katharine Isabelle, as she grows increasingly broke and disenchanted by medical school and the surgeons she once admired. So the notoriety and easy money of underground surgery sends her into the messy world of body modification that leaves more marks on Mary's psyche than her so-called freakish clientele. So it's about paying your phone bill.
Yeah.
Essentially.
In an avant-garde way.
It's also very much an analogy for our own ventures and misadventures in the film industry.
Yeah.
And of course, the production company is called Twisted Twins, which seems
Thank
somewhat...
you for not saying Twisted Sister.
Dee and I wear about the same amount of makeup, so people always make that mistake.
But it seems like quite a somewhat apt sort of name, because I mean, your films do sort of tend to sort of steer towards a kind of shocking, that sort of side of cinema. What is it about that type of cinema that kind of fascinates you?
We've never intended to make anything weird. We're just really, I don't know what happened. I asked my mom if she dropped us, but she didn't say she did.
She dropped her, not me. I'm okay. This was all intact. But I think horror more chose us than the other way around. Our parents were very cool in the way that they just encouraged the things that we were naturally interested in, and we liked playing with bugs. Like that's a warning sign if your daughter is going to be a horror movie director. If she plays with bugs, watch out. If she doesn't have any interest in Barbie.
Well, I always thought I like things that are weird and they kind of surprise you. Like American Mary, I was joking with everybody. It was like, it's my version of a romantic comedy. They're like, oh, sweetie, no.
It is a romantic comedy.
To me, it is a romantic comedy. It's funny. It's romantic. And the first one, Dead Hooker in a Trunk, was like a road trip movie. And they're like, no, you don't eviscerate people, and it's a road trip movie.
We're also big sticklers for alliteration because Stan Lee had a hard time always remembering all his characters because he birthed every great character ever.
In history.
And he had a hard time remembering them, so he's like Peter Parker, Matt Murdock.
We went between
same.
Soska Sisters and Twisted Twins.
So we say Twisted Twins Productions, and it's filmed by the Soska Sisters.
Nice. But I mean, do you think it's fair to say that this isn't actually a horror as such, but more kind of psychological thriller?
It's not a horror movie.
Oh, thank you for saying that. It's people are obsessed with labels. They want to know exactly what it is in 2 words, and then
When they want to know what other movie it's exactly like, and when it's like, oh, it's kind of original, they're like, oh, I don't know.
We don't
about
like
that.
that.
No. No, I need to know it's like Saw.
Yeah,
Can it be just Saw?
Well, I just feel like when you go to a horror movie, because I love the genre so much, lately you predict it in the first 5 minutes and you see everything that's coming, and it's like, oh, I've seen this movie, or I know what this is going to be. And
Yeah, because usually it's a remake you're watching.
yeah, well, we wanted to make it different, and I think we overshot a bunch to make it so freaking weird, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and we're really lucky to have people like Film for Fright Fest and Universal actually stand behind a weird movie like this. Like, I loved Universal Monsters, and now I can say this chick is one of the Universal Monsters.
She's always been a monster, but now she's a universal monster. And that's something special.
Dead kittens.
It's an attractive laugh, isn't it?
Wasn't it?
I think that the real horror in American Mary is the real life horror. It's not the stuff with the body modification. It's not the surgeries. The things that are the most frightening are things that could realistically happen, that do happen in the film. And people don't really like that because they're like, oh, that's real. Yeah, real life sucks.
But that was one of my favourite things about the film, is that it didn't just use gore as a kind of the sort of cheap shock value. Actually, it was more psychological, and it tried to you were sort of really getting into Mary's mind. Was that always the intention then?
Definitely. Well, Hitchcock always said it's not the payoff that gets the audience, it's the lead up, and we're like, let's have some nice lead up, and we wanted the medical stuff to be as accurate as it could be, even though it was so fantastical. So people are like, what if there's a cut and then all this blood sprays? I was like, but that wouldn't happen, so let's just try and stay in the realm of reality. I mean, we have a Betty Boop and a Barbie woman running around. We need to ground this at some point.
There's a lot of prejudice with the body mod community as well. One of Sylv, bless her heart, she opened our pitches always with, have you ever heard of body modification? And
Because I
people
thought
just
they'd
think
be
of,
excited, like me.
well, they just think modified genitals, and they're like, yucky. And we're like, no, but it's going to be very tastefully shot. And they're like, you can't shoot that tastefully. And it's like, actually, yeah. I mean, to a lot of people, it's a way of life. To some people, it's just something you like to villainize and poke fingers at. But we wanted to show the reality behind body modification. Pull the curtain back, so to say.
Yeah, and I have a weird way of gauging how much blood we put on things. Like when we did that scene,
That's a little
I was
spritz.
only gonna put like just a little spray, and then she looks so good, doused in blood. We kind of went a bit crazy with it, but aesthetically it looked good. Was it sticky and cold? It was sticky. I was sticky.
Yeah. So, Katharine, when you first received the script, did you instantly just think, yeah, I want to do this?
I got the film emailed to me, and the only thing I had available to read it, I read it on my BlackBerry, and they're like, oh, read this, first time directors, horror movies. I was like, great, that'll be awesome. Oh, identical twin sisters, fun, I bet this is gonna be really good.
She was right.
And I was like, oh, I'll just scan the first couple pages till it's complete shit and I can go back to sleep. And I ended up reading the whole 190 pages, I think it was originally, on my BlackBerry, twice, sitting in bed, and put it down and thought, what did I just read? I really liked it. Instinctually, I really liked it. Just my very first reaction. And I sent it to my father, who's been in film for 30 years, to see if I was crazy or not. I always have liked things a little on the darker side of life, but I wasn't sure if I was just completely insane. And he thought it was great. I thought it was great. And I thought if they ever get a chance to actually make this movie and they don't completely screw it up, it would actually be really good. And this is a character that comes along very rarely for an actor, and I was more than enthusiastic to try. And then I met these girls for sushi, and we ended up out till 5 a.m. And I thought, oh yeah, no, this will be just fine. Yeah, no, if we actually really make this, it'll be great. And they're just strange geniuses, so I was happy immediately.
Was it?
Got a little sexy. It's okay. Like it.
Right, oh, sorry, I was a bit distracted there.
It's fine.
My next question.
It's an ongoing love affair.
Yeah.
So was it quite difficult to get into the head of a character and sort of to portray a character that's quite jovial to begin with, quite naive, and then slowly as the sort of story progresses gets a bit dark and quite twisted?
No, I was terrified to let Mary down. The character is so well written, and it's so a part of Sylv. She was very exposed in that film, which she's not usually, except for how she dresses. But I was terrified to screw it up or let her down or ruin Mary and just not fulfill Mary to her full potential. And it really helped. I read the script. We didn't end up shooting it for like 8 or 9 months, until after I'd read, and it gave me a lot of time to absorb the character. It's not like I was reading it every day and making notes or doing anything like that, but it just sat with me and it settled with me for a long time. And by the time we got to set, we didn't have any rehearsals, we didn't have any prep. We had 15 days to shoot a huge, massive, crazy schedule. And knowing Sylv as well as I did at that point, and having let the character sit with me for that long, it wasn't difficult. It kind of, everything flowed very naturally. And if I ever did have any questions, Sylv and Jen were right there always to over answer to the point where it's like, yeah, okay, shut up, I get it, okay, fine, thank you, go, let's do it. And they were super encouraging and really, really supportive, and that was so important for me, being, an insecure actor like everyone else. That they were more enthusiastic and more supportive, and it just gave me more confidence in my ability to not completely screw it up. So
No,
you were nice to me.
Brilliant
Thanks.
in it. And she had like 3 takes on everything, and sometimes I would just be like overindulgent, and she'd do it perfect on the first tune and be like, okay, we're gonna do it again, but can you make the tear come out of this eye this time, because we're gonna rack focus. She'd just look at me, and then she'd do it perfectly, and everybody in the crew would be all like, she's so good. I'd be like, yeah. I was weep you through most of it.
She cries a lot. She's like,
Oh, well, it was such a fangirl moment, because I'm such a big fan of this one, and then my ambition, like, I had huge expectations, which most actors would just avoid a person like me altogether. This one was very nice, and it was just like such a fangirl moment. I wrote the part for her with Jen, and then I got to be like this close and see her actually just like nail it time after time. And
it's a rule for directors to never write for an actor, because you don't know if you meet this and it's a train wreck.
Oh yeah, then you just start cutting yourself.
Because we like to consider ourselves like really good judges of character, but you know, acting, you're entertaining. You don't know how much of it's smoke and mirrors. I mean, interpretively, we can watch Katie's career and be like, okay, Katie's like this, but Katie just surpassed our expectations. One of the greatest challenges of the film is you don't shoot in sequence, and Mary emotionally and psychologically has to go to so many places, and in one day she's through the ringer emotionally and psychologically, and she was always exactly where she needed to be.
It's making me very uncomfortable.
No, sorry. She's all right. Might work with her again.
So what's your favourite thing about Katharine? I'm joking.
Yes, let's talk about it more,
Her hair,
please.
because it's so pretty.
Her hair, she's
so
really pretty. Well, I
really
think
nice looking.
one of my favorite reviews is somebody said how beautiful you were, and that you forget that she can also act because she is so stunning. And they're like, but she's a talented actress too. And I'm like, it is hard because she is really beautiful. And I'm like, we would be out till like super late shooting, and this one would show up at 5 a.m, which she should look like shit, and she didn't. And then she's brilliant and nice and funny. You're like, God.
I don't know if she's nice.
It's really not
not
fair.
It's
Not
nice. I
nice.
have a reputation to uphold. You can't go around telling everybody I'm nice.
So just finally, because of course you were over here for Fright Fest, which must have been a great experience for you. Well, what's it like to be back? And you must be really excited now that this film's sort of getting its release and you're sending it off to the big bad world.
It's surreal. Film for Fright Fest, and Universal have been so incredibly kind to us. And from when we were first coming to Fright Fest, we were told that, are you worried because the fans, I mean, these are very clever fans, and if you have screwed up...
If you messed up, they'll let you know.
Well, they're not American in the way where you say, you give a compliment sandwich and you don't want to come out and say it's shit if you think it's shit. But here, they will be the first one to say, well, that was a bit, that was a bit of shit,
You didn't do a good job at that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, well, being horror fans ourselves, we put so many shout-outs and homages to other directors and films and lighting and score, and they all got it. So to be back here, I mean, I don't think anyone's been as good to us as the UK, and we're not like that rock band that says, oh, Vancouver, you're the best audience ever. The UK has been so damn good to us.
The first place we always get released, and this is where we had the world premiere, and now it's 2013, we're doing all the releases, and now we're here for theatrical. It's just like...
Don't cry.
It's like a nerd thing, I don't know.
Don't
cry.
I won't cry.
Don't ruin your makeup.
My image is scary, so I can't show I have emotions.
So would you ever like to make a film over here?
Oh, we would absolutely love to. Actually, last night we were just talking about making a film over here.
Yeah, I got 2 scripts, so we'll see what happens.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you have money,
I could be an extra.
talk to me after this.
How do you feel about being covered in blood?
Yeah, I'd love it.
That's
If I could look anything like that,
legally
I'd be quite
binding.
pleased. Cool.
We'll call her Boy. Joel. I'll write it up.